do
A skit.
with parliamentary procedure at a table. And I don't have puppets today, sorry. We don't get a puppet show, although I am a puppeteer. If you didn't know that about me, you do now. Okay, let me see. Am I on again? Am I off again?
There you go.
There it is. Okay. I don't know what I did. Okay. So, first of all, we're talking motions and parliamentary procedure. This is my Roberts. You see it's not very well used or anything. I have it. I don't use that. If you're going to learn more and you really are curious, get this one. Roberts Rules, the Complete Idiot's Guide. Don't take offense. I was an idiot too, but I studied for this and for my tests with this book, and that's how I got 100. So, if you're just interested, I wanted to show you that. But when we're talking about motions, you need to know a couple things about how to make them effectively. And then we'll go into what they are. But the very first thing is, say I move. Don't say I'd like to make a motion that. Just get that out of the way. I move that we blah, whatever it is. I move that we, let's see. I move that we order, what do I have on here? I move that we order pizza for lunch. Okay, then you can debate on that and whatever. If you're going to amend that, then I want you to say, I move to amend that motion to include, and then fix the motion. Thank you. Whoa, Lord, have mercy. All right. I want you to amend that motion very specifically so that you know exactly the portion you're changing. If it's a time, or if it's a new location, or if it's a different thing, or it's different toppings on my pizza. I would like to move to amend that motion to say that we would order pepperoni pizza. Okay, we've got a variable there that we can debate, and I'll get into that later. But then when you're going to amend that, say we've already gone through and we've decided we're going to talk about having pizza for lunch, and then now pepperoni pizza, we're going to do the next thing. We are going to amend the amendment and say pepperoni pizza from Cece's or from Tony's, whichever. So that gets kind of confusing though. So, got a little visual for you. Main motion is open when you make it, just like a box. So you've got your main motion sitting there. We are going to say, I move that we order the pizza for lunch. Now we have an open box. What we do with it determines what goes in it and all the pieces together. And once we've voted on it, it closes the box. And then we can't deal with it again unless there are extraordinary circumstances, such as an emergency happens and we can't, Tony's burns down and we can't get pizza from there. We have to reconsider the motion. So I want you to think of every motion as an open box. Every single one, and then you fill it with the extra pieces, the amendments, and all that stuff. So let's practice that one. We're going to do pizza again. No, we're just going to decide where we're going to go for dinner. So we're starting to say, I move that we have Chinese food for dinner. Okay. Now the whole group has got to have a second somewhere. I don't hear a second.
Second.
All right, Bonnie seconded me. So motion is on the floor. Now what a second requires is that it means anybody else in the whole group wants to discuss it. If one person wants to talk about something and nobody else does, and there's no second, don't waste my time, move on. That means just one person has an issue. But if there's a second, we're interested in that. So here we are with a vote that we go have Chinese for dinner. Well now, Tina makes a motion to amend it. Got a new box. And in the new box, Tina's going to say, what would you prefer instead of Chinese?
Barbecue.
Barbecue. So Tina's going to say, we're going to strike the words Chinese food and replace them with barbecue. That's our new motion here. Now this motion is open. This one is too. I just told you one thing at a time, didn't I? And the last time I was up here. But this is fine because what I'm going to do with this one, once we decide, are we going to do barbecue? Yes, no.
Second.
Yes, okay, there you go. You've got the motion to amend and now it's been seconded. So Bonnie seconded that. We voted, we decided barbecue is where we want to go. So now this part, the barbecue amendment, goes in the original box. Now I've got a motion not just to have Chinese food. Now it's been amended, something has been added and changed, and now it's in the box. But here's the thing, Tina thinks that we probably should do this tonight, but Mike has something to do, and Mike is gonna make an amendment to that. If we don't pass this completely before Mike gets to it, Mike is gonna say, I move that we change the date to tomorrow night, where we can invite more people. Well, now we have a third box open. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Third box. We're going to start this way. We're going to make them decide whether or not tomorrow is the day. Well, that passes because everybody's getting tired and they want to go out to dinner tomorrow night. That passes. Tomorrow night, it's closed. Okay. Then we go back to the issue of dinner. Dinner at, where do we say?
Barbecue.
Barbecue. All right, once we've done that, it's tomorrow night, we're going for barbecue for dinner. Now we're voting on everything in this box. Everything, all 3 boxes. Dinner, at barbecue, tomorrow night. If it passes, box closes, we're done. Does that help you maybe see a little bit better how the amendments and the amendments to the amendments have to go one thing at a time? You're building the box, all the things in it, and then you close it up, and business is done for that. So that's how we're going to get through those things very quickly. A couple of the things you need to know, though. Debatability. And I'm just going to skim through this really quickly. What is debatable? We often have these great discussions about what's debatable. And this little chart has a nice little handy column there that will tell you what's debatable and what's not. But the easiest way to remember is there a factor in the question that is a variable? Is there time that you could be different at different times, different locations, different dollar amounts, different time frames? All of those things, periods of time, quantity, those things are debatable. So if you're in, whether it's a convention or a meeting, and you're talking about debatable aspects, whether something's debatable or not, usually yes or no questions usually are not debatable. You just decide and move on. There's no need to go into all the wherefores and whys about why you would want to do something. But refer to that sheet. Take a little cheat sheet with you if you really are interested in knowing what's debatable or not. I've caught at certain meetings several people trying to debate something that is obviously not debatable, and vice versa, not allowing debate on something that is debatable. So pay attention to that. I have developed, which I'm not going to go into today because we don't have copies of it, but I've developed a cheat sheet to take with you that sort of explains the list of motions that we'll use typically. You don't want, I mean, some of the notes on here, you don't want to use table anything at a convention. And that's simply because table means it goes on the table till next meeting, and then you pick it up again off the table. And you don't do that at convention, because convention is a one-time event. So never use table at convention, just remember that. If you want a copy of this, because I've made a ton of these, but I didn't bring them with me, I've got business cards down here at the front, and you can send me an email, remind me that you want the parliamentary cheat sheet. I will send it to you. It just goes into a quick explanation about what all of those are. And rather than hear me read them to you, take them home, look at them, take my card, call me if you need to. Real quick.
Can we also post that on Facebook and on Twitter?
Absolutely, that is not proprietary information. Share that far and wide.
We'll have all that shared on there as well.
Just so you know. Yes, Paul?
Felicia, when people say table, do they really mean postponed indefinitely?
They do, and I explain that in that sheet. There's 3 ways to get rid of something that you want to get rid of, and I'll talk about that later after we've done breakouts. No, you're fine. Anticipating me, that's good. But the main thing is, remember that your motions, especially when you get into amending and amending the amendments, they're really this simple. Just try to keep track of which box you're dealing with at one time. And it should fit everything all together, and when it's done, you're done. All right, we should be able to break out. I think we're on schedule for that, right? Oh, Tina's next. All right, good. Thanks, guys.